Hello guys, it's One Ring Circus. Just wanted to make another, supposed to be quick video, but might end up being a long one, about hair jealousy. Specifically, I can barely talk, specifically long hair jealousy. The house is almost quiet, and now is a good time to make a video. So, I've been wanting to make this one for a long time, and give this to you guys. Just have a couple key, things that, if you have long, beautiful hair, long, beautiful, healthy hair, you probably heard one of these 5 things. It's really strange. I've talked a lot with some acquaintances. I've talked a lot to one of my girlfriends who's a hairdresser, and she has a wealth of stories and information that she would totally let me share here, but her perspective on long hair jealousy is insane. You could be a woman who isn't necessarily, to Western standards, attractive in the face or body, but if you have pretty long hair, God help you. When you have pretty, beautiful, long, healthy hair, it can trigger some people who also want that, who haven't, who don't properly manage their emotions. There's nothing wrong with seeing something that you want and feeling, a desire, jealousy is, a passing emotion that can show you what you really want deep inside. And then you have to make a decision on if you're going to be toxic about it and just sit and seethe and get the green-eyed monster, or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to start doing research into hair care and changing your diet and, upgrading your products or making your own products? So, you always have a choice. When you see something that you want, you can go one or two ways. Either you can sit, stew, and just cast out that evil eye and just be really mean and like, oh, I want that. I want it. I'll destroy it if I can't have it. Or you can turn inward and do the inner work to have those things. But anyway, let's get on with the top 5 that my good friend, who is a hairdresser, and I have found are, just some really key points of hair jealousy. And a few of these are really hurtful. These are things that I've heard happening to other women, and these are things that have happened to me or some of my family members. Just got a notification on my phone. Sorry about that. So first is, you should just cut it. People will say, oh, yeah, just cut it. It's just hair. It'll grow back. Do something new. Be brave. Do a new progressive, edgy, short style. People will push you to cut your long hair. It's very strange. It's just like they can't help themselves. They might even offer to help cut it, and that's scary. Don't do that. Number 2, that looks like too much time and work. I've heard that a lot. That looks like too much time and work. You could be doing so many other things. Don't you think it's a little vain to be putting all that time, money, and energy into your hair? Think of all the other things you could do. It must take forever to get ready in the morning. Well, none of their business. None of their business about your finances. None of their business what you spend your money on, your time on, your energy on. People need to stay in their lane. But this is a very telling, when you hear things like these top 5 things, you can be certain that you're not crazy and that someone, they're jealous, they're jelly of that long, beautiful, healthy hair. And another thing, and this one is very upsetting. This one, a lot of new mothers will hear this. Someone very close to me, I won't name names or relations due to privacy, but they had a baby. She's just gorgeous. Anyway, when you have an infant, this is number 3, when you have an infant just born and they have a beautiful head of hair, it's long, it might even be 2 inches long. It's magnetizing. It's just like, oh my goodness, the nurses are gathered around and the doctor's like, ooh, look at all this hair. No wonder you had heartburn while you were pregnant. And then, people will say, or someone might say who is jealous, oh, it'll all fall out. It'll all fall out. It's a terrible thing to say to a new mother, and a very jealous thing to say. Because, during the first 6 months, infants can, and I'll just say can, experience hair loss, and then it grows back as permanent hair. That's not always the case. And your hair loss usually peaks at 3 months old in infants. So around that time, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And that one to me is the worst out of everything. It's almost the worst kind of jealousy, even outside of hair. You're jealous of an infant. An infant. They've only been here on the planet breathing on their own for a couple of hours. And then, Auntie Peggy Sue, whose hair is all jacked up from a bad dye job or 2 or 3 or a dozen, comes in and says, oh, what beautiful hair, but it'll all fall out. Terrible. Jealous. Jealousy. That's what it is. Number 4. You ruined your long, beautiful hair by coloring it. That's something that's a really upsetting one. Some people will, color their hair. They'll have hair down to their waist, and they'll do something fun like unicorn hair, or put in some blue highlights, or some golden honey undertones, make it look real good, and then people will say, oh, you ruined your hair, the dye ruined it. So if you want virgin hair again, if you want like untreated, unprocessed, completely organic hair that's healthy again, you're gonna have to just cut it all off, which goes back to the first thing on our list, which is you should just cut it. I mean, it's a violent, vicious circle with some of these people. And then 5, and this one hits me really close to home. Well, it's just dreadlocks. It's not like it's real long hair, which is really upsetting. I've had a very complex hair journey. My hair grows really fast. I've always taken real good care of my hair, and a lot of it comes down to genetics. If you want to see a video on what I use, comment and like, and and I'll make one because I don't gatekeep. So anyway, my hair grows super fast. At one point, I had dreadlocks that were down to my knees. It was all my hair. No shade against extensions. I think extensions are the coolest thing. They help you play with your look. I'm a huge advocate of wigs, extensions, weaves. I mean, whatever you want. If you got the money and you're not hurting anybody, do it. Do it. Be the best you can be. I had really, really long dreads. They were heavy. They're really cool. I put yarn in them and beads, and and people would just, I've heard at least 10 times, well, it's not like you have long hair, but it's not like real hair. It's like dreadlocks. So it doesn't really count as, you can't really say you have long hair. You have long dreads. What's the difference? It's still hair. It's still my hair. It's long. Stop being jealous. I think dreadlocks are awesome. I ended up taking my dreadlocks out. That's a video for another time. That was a really complex journey. It was very emotional. I detangled one of my dreadlocks. I brushed it out and it went down to the floor, a little past the floor. But I made a decision to only cut them in half rather than brush them out entirely, because I couldn't commit to that long. It took 4.5 days to get one dread undone on myself. So I just had to, settle with my hair only being waist length now, which is still long. And I have a lot of haters that it's insane. It's insane. I mean, I'm kind of venting right now, but I'm sharing my story so other people will share their stories and feel validated that, hey, you're not crazy. When I took my dreadlocks out, there is one woman in particular who is no longer in my life, and I think it's because of hair. She lost her mind. I don't think I was a threat as long as I had the dreadlocks, she didn't see me as competition with her. But the second I took those dreads out, it was on. It was crazy. I couldn't believe how much I couldn't believe it. It was like I became a whole new level of threat, and she had to neutralize me, and she tried desperately, and that's a video for another time. It just goes to show some people get really crazy when it comes to hair. Some people get really insane. They get eaten up by seeing beautiful, long, gorgeous, silky, healthy hair. And, I'm not making this video to tell women with long hair, like, don't ever cut your hair. Just keep growing. I don't want to sound like, one of those weird religious guys that are like, oh, your hair is very beautiful. Never cut it, because what would your husband say? That's not what this is. This is more, if you're happy with your long, beautiful, luscious, healthy hair, don't let others influence what you do with it. Don't let others have any say in your hair. Your hair is on your head. Who cares if they have to look at you? It's your hair. You want to dye your 3 feet long of hair purple? Do it. Just do it. You want to, have dreadlocks down to the floor. Just keep growing them, seeing how long they can get. Do it. Just do it. Don't let anyone try to, dull your shine. Our hair is a beautiful thing. There's a lot of, stuff out there that tries to pull us down, like these 5 things. And, I want this video to be a little bit of hope for people, and let's not leave out guys. Guys with long hair, they have a whole new boatload of problems. There's guys that are jealous of other guys' hair. I've personally seen men who are starting to go bald just, talk about another guy's hair like, oh, look at that. Like, it's so thick. Oh man, I hate him. And that's a entirely separate video. That's not my target audience, so I won't make a video on that. I'm here for women. But if you have a story about your hair and jealousy surrounding your hair, I ask you to please share, for everyone, for me, for everyone, because it's important to see other people's stories. It's important to not feel crazy. It's important to feel, heard and seen, and have other people reassure you that, yes, this is a real thing. Hair jealousy is a real thing. And in my personal opinion, hair jealousy trumps a lot of other physical forms of jealousy. Oh, she has pretty skin. Oh, she has thick nails. Oh, she has long legs. I feel like hair is just like on top of all those. It trumps any other form of beauty, exterior beauty anyway. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear your guys' stories. I want to read everyone's stories. Feel free to comment, and I'll see you guys next time.